This episode of Locally to You, our guest is Lisa Rogers, local to Dover, PT fitness instructor. Lisa has experience through nutrition, diet, achieving your body goals, also has experience through the pandemic of helping out people with mental health and fitness, and other little bits in between. Enjoy. Hello, Lisa.
Hi.
Hiya. So, you know, I'm Ash.
Yes.
We've met once at my sister-in-law's wedding.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did.
So part of the reason why I invited you down next after Wayne is because I briefly met you at the wedding.
Yes.
I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but you seemed entrepreneurial and wanting to, you know, do things in Dover in this area.
Yes.
And then obviously just seeing you posting stuff online. Obviously you worked with Hannah as well.
I did, yeah. I think that's what we were talking about at the time, actually. We were doing the boot camps at the time and really involved in the Herbalife network. And yeah, I think we were talking about that. And I think you were doing cycling at that time as well. We were talking about something up maybe Western Heights, or there was something that you were...
Was the wedding not pre-COVID?
Don't know.
It's all a blur. I think because it messed us all up. It's all a bit of a blur, isn't it? I can't remember. Lance, you can tell me something.
Yeah, maybe we got that wrong. We'll have to check that.
Yeah, so I saw that you community spirited. Through doing this now, this podcast thing, I'm now going to turn into a Facebook stalker.
Yeah.
So everyone is coming on now and looking through their Facebook, and I even used AI to ask a question about you as well. The first one. I didn't do it for Wayne before. Yes, I'm going to try it again. But it'd be interesting to see how accurate it is as well.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I should have asked you this before we started. Is there anything that you don't want to talk about? Is there sort of anything?
No, go for it.
Or anything like that?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Open book.
Open book.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. Well, first of all, you are PT, physical trainer.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that for?
One-to-ones, only about a year and a half, in all honesty. Yeah, I was an insurance broker for 16 years, stuck in an office. So it was only my love for fitness and then COVID, weirdly, that sort of pushed everyone into health and fitness and taking themselves really seriously. And I did the same thing, did a nutrition plan, got really into my home workouts. That then evolved into boot camps, and then did a fitness instructor's course, and now here we are doing one-to-ones, which I absolutely love.
Nice. So here's the AI question.
Go on.
Do you have a law degree?
I have an insurance law diploma.
Ah.
So almost there. So it is the study of the law, but how insurance evolved. So really not very fun. But actually the geek side of me thoroughly enjoyed it.
So you're not in court fighting for someone's justice?
No, if only. So AI got that one a little bit wrong. They bigged me up a little bit too much there, I think.
Well, I thought I'd try it out and see what information it does come up with.
Yeah.
It also it was coming up about your father.
Yes.
Was there an accident?
There was, yes. Is
that okay to talk about?
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's done a lot of healing. 9 years ago, I was decorating my Christmas tree, as you do, very heavily pregnant, 12 weeks to go. Didn't know what we was having. Well, we know I had twins. I've had twins, but I actually thought it was two boys. My dad was on a dog walk, only 57, threw a ball which bounced over the military wall near the Zetland Arms, and the puppy, who was only 6 months old, she jumped in for the ball. Dad doing the usual, you know, save the puppy, jumped in, and sadly it was 29th of November. So with the waves and everything else, could not then get back out despite tying something around his waist. That snapped, and it took the Coast Guard a good half an hour to get to him. So it was all a little bit too late then, and freezing cold. So yeah.
And I saw you was campaigning though for better signage.
Better signage, and also there is now a safety, the buoyancy ring over there. So they did adjust it slightly, but it's the most dangerous part of, I mean, nobody should be on the military area anyway, but so many people go there with their dogs and kids, and they do go in the water, and they weren't able to put the safety buoy there, but they put it as close as they could. So yeah, they helped out a bit, but it's still quite a dangerous area.
I mean, we started off on a different subject, but I'd like to ask you a couple more questions about that.
Yeah, okay.
How, when you was campaigning for better signage, how did you feel that experience was trying to, what's the right way to say it, to be an activist in this way, to try and champion for some sort of change that needed to happen that probably other people have had issues with? Was it a difficult task to do?
It wasn't actually. And to be honest, I think it's something that was suggested to me. I was very wrapped up in babies and trying to grieve. And, you know, although it was a great idea, it was actually somebody else's idea. So I can't really take the benefit for that. And I think, you know, a lot of people had tried to make that a safer area beforehand, and sort of used my story to get some more safety, more safety there. So yeah, it was, I think, because of the sympathy, they listened to me rather than just, you know, Joe Bloggs who came up with the idea.
So this is something that should have been in place a long time ago.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a really dangerous area.
Strange. Do you think there is something to do with modern day times and social media that may have helped with these things? Because I mean, the internet's only been around for sort of like 20 years or so, you know.
Yeah.
And before then, this kind of safety network and campaigns for things maybe weren't highlighted as big.
It's a huge platform now, isn't it? So, you know, if you want, in both good ways and bad ways. I mean, we've got a bit of a family tragedy at the moment. Not tragedy, but my little cousin, she's all over social media at the moment, Primrose, and sadly has leukemia. And by putting it on social media, it's quite overwhelming, the support and the whole town coming together to get money for. They're a very young family. Obviously now can't be going to work, and the traffic, you know, the travelling to and from the hospital, food, everything. And the money that they've raised already is, overwhelming.
Wow. I did see your post about that. Do you mind if we put a link on the...
No, please do.
Information
any help at all, because, you know, it does... The algorithms will make that current, but then very quickly something else, if someone's talking about the traffic or, you know, an accident or something, and it gets forgotten so quickly with, you know, what people are looking at. So I'd rather that wasn't buried and we keep that present and, you know, keep the help coming, because it's going to be a long road for her.
Well, our intentions for what we're doing is that we want to try and create a new kind of social media platform that isn't about everybody having a page and you can just sort of post about who's parked a bit incorrectly or something like that. Yeah. We want to create almost like a news channel as it was as well. And that is, in a way, news as well.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
What people are going through and what people might need help with. And yeah, we're hoping to build something that's going to help out in a different way that's not... Because, you know, Facebook is... They say it's an older generation platform. Not everybody's on Facebook. Instagram, sometimes it's maybe hard to find and follow. TikTok's the same as well. So we're hoping to build something like that.
Oh, exciting.
I know. So anyway, let's talk about your business exploits, shall we say. So before COVID, was you doing anything with PT then?
No.
No.
Not at all.
So you said it was last, because I saw a post you wrote, you've been finding it hard to exercise, you've been eating junk food.
Yeah.
I've kind of fallen into that pit myself a little bit over the past couple of years from living an active lifestyle.
Yes.
So before that...
I was absolutely clueless. I used to love going to CrossFit, just, you know, before children. That was my hobby and I loved it. 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day, just fell in love with the sport, lifting weights. And in all honesty, and might have had this with other people, at the time I was trying to have children and it wasn't happening very quickly. And so I was using the gym for mental health reasons, really throwing everything into that, you know, thinking, well, if I can't be a mum, maybe I'll be a really good CrossFitter or have abs or, you know, focus on myself, bit of self-development. And never really got the body that I wanted, actually, with all the effort that I put in, because the diet that I was having Maryland cookies every morning, tea and coffee through the day, pretty much starving through the day, and then a huge dinner, your typical Brit dinner with gravy, pork chops, beans, loads of cheese, as we all do. When I speak to people and they explain what they're eating to me, it's always, your typical dinners that your mum and dad taught you, that their mum and dads taught them. And so the diet wasn't there, and no one had ever taught me how to eat. My mum was a yo-yo dieter. So I always thought that dieting was a bad thing, because I'd always see her either really happy or really miserable, always battling with her weight. And so to me, I'm really anti-dieting. And when COVID happened, I went on a nutrition plan. Reluctantly, it was something that one of my friends, a footballer, had suggested. And because he was a footballer, and he wasn't a woman, as sexy as it sounds, who was trying a fad diet, I took him seriously because, okay, he's a sportsman, so therefore nutrition, maybe I'll listen to what he said. And my body changed completely within 28 days of being strict eating, more so than ever training. Hundreds of abs could have done. So I developed abs, body was changing because of that. Then I actually wanted to go back to the gym, so the want and the love was back. And by COVID, I had children by then, so my body was a mum body. I find it very difficult to adjust to loving myself again. And whilst I was trying to do insurance, I was also doing nutrition plans and posting online workouts, and found the love again. And it kind of organically grew into an online business with Herbalife nutrition products and online workouts. And then when we were allowed, that turned into boot camps, because I wanted to take it into other people's lives, but outdoors when we were restricted to only 6 people. Then that was changed to 30, and then I think it was changed back to 6, and we were always a little bit confused. I think once the police even stopped us when we had a fit club in Deal, and we were like, no, we're pretty sure it's 6s now, but we can do groups of 6s, and even they didn't know. Nobody really knew where they stood with the outdoor groups. And that's when I decided, actually, I'm doing free fit clubs. I've never claimed to be a personal fitness instructor, but I should really get some kind of qualification, because I'm actually now teaching people and correcting their form only on, personal experience. And so, did the course just to get a little bit of accreditation, is that the right word? And it just blew up. Actually, we were training sort of 30 to 40 people each session. We were in Folkestone, Deal, Dover, and that went on for 3.5 years. And what started as a business plan to get people in front of me, build a relationship, get them on a nutrition plan, which Herbalife Nutrition is network marketing that I'm involved in, and I love it. I use the products myself, probably will do till the day I die. I've got my mum on them, sister, everybody. But it started as a business plan, and then where everybody had been locked down for so long, the messages that I got about people coming through anxiety and, being around people again and their struggles and what it was doing for them, and it was building relationships with people again, that fear of being outside was disappearing. It became so much more than a business plan, and I probably did it for a lot longer than I should, free. I couldn't charge, because it just become a massive group of friends and was so rewarding. I just absolutely loved it. And so I think, I still love training people now, because I find it the most rewarding thing, really. I think if I could do it and survive, I will always do it. But money's nice. I need money, obviously, but that side of it is so much better.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things I wanted to touch on later about money and fitness and how we can encourage it more in the future. During the, do you know what? I wish someone, or even myself, had the confidence back in the COVID times to try and be a bit like, did you hear about Texas in America during COVID? They kind of quickly realised, that it was a dangerous virus to some extent, but not as much as it was made out to. So Texas went, well, we're not closing everything down. So businesses survived and people survived, unlike the rest of the places that closed everything down out of complete fear. And I wish we'd kind of took that example over here a little bit, which would have been nice. But you've touched on so many different subjects there, actually. I mean, even around dealing with COVID, health and fitness would have been one of the greatest combatants of that as well. But with the food, because you also did New You Lounge, which I'd like to ask you about in a minute. But even I've found myself that there's a lot of people that don't really know how to cook. Do you find that a lot?
I'm a terrible cook. I am a lazy chef, and that's the people that I work with. They don't want to be weighing food and food prepping and looking at recipes. The amount of recipe books I have that are in a box under my bed, I don't. Yeah. I'm very much, if it's not quick and easy, I don't really want to do it. And so the things that I help my clients with, because a lot of them, busy working people, their mums or fathers, and maybe their parents, and it has to be quick or they won't eat. Most of my clients are guilty of neglecting themselves. Very much so. They're the typical run out the door with a coffee, grab a quick meal deal, and it's kind of just convenience food all of the time. The Just Eats and the delivery, they're everywhere. Even when you fill your car up now, you've got them on the pump. The adverts are there reminding you that, look how convenient we are. We can just literally, you don't need to leave your sofa. I charge you more for it. And I just help people do food that's doable. The air fryers, you can still eat this, but maybe cook it a different way, and just try to educate people on how lacking our food is now as well. So supplements are vital. We try and eat our fruits and veggies, but sadly the way they are imported into the country and then frozen, and then they're artificially ripened, stored for sort of 6 to 12 months. You think you get a nice healthy apple when actually it's probably about a year old sometimes, but we've paid for the packaging and the importing, everything else. Whereas you taste an apple that's been grown here off the tree, it's quite unbelievable in taste. So we're trying our best to eat healthy and paying extra for it, but the food that we're getting now is lacking. So I try and help people with supplementing alongside, but knowing also what whole foods to eat as well. So, and trying to keep the cost down. Doesn't have to be extortionate, because people don't have money to spend on themselves, sadly. And that's what I try and encourage, is to look after yourself. Your health and happiness, your well-being is everything.
During COVID and a little bit, well, actually for a number of years, I suppose, I've enjoyed posting dishes online that I used to say I've cooked this in the time it takes to cook rice.
Yeah.
And I also used to live more on a diet. I used to like thinking about nutrition. I was once dating a nutritionist, and I thought about how the body works and food that you eat, and I always thought that, for example, if you go out for a 3-course meal, is the body really designed to eat these complex, these varied plates of food? You have a starter salad with all these different things on, then you have a main dish with all these different things on, and then you have a dessert, and you're cramming that all in there. So I used to have like 3-ingredient meals and things like that, and a nice sauce to go with it. And it did help me a lot. I also cut out a lot of dairy and bread. I will have milk in my coffee if that's the only option, but I'll have oat milk now. Yeah, much better. I do buy butter sometimes, and I don't say no ever, because every now and then I will eat a pizza, even though it doesn't agree with me.
Absolutely, me too.
I think people get so hung up on this idea that you need to spend about 45 minutes to an hour preparing a meal. Yeah. When really you can bash some stuff up and whack it in a pot, or a slow cooker is another great way, Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially with the air fryers now. So it would be great to somehow encourage people to cook a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, look at the guy at Lean in 15, and there are so many meals that you can just...
Lean in 15.
Yeah. You've seen all the recipe books.
So tell us a little bit.
The body coach, he's everywhere. I mean, he'll turn up in random places in the UK, won't he? And you just run with him. He did lots of the fitness online for the children on YouTube during COVID, and his cookbooks are Lean in 15. And there are so many that you can do. And I think people also the mistake they make, they have to flavour food with the ketchups and the salad creams and mayonnaise, and forget that, you know, there's garlic and chili and soy and all these different things that you can flavour food with to make them really tasty. And once you've bought them, they're in the cupboard. A
condiment shelf is the best thing ever.
So important. And so, it is. But it is just, we're not educated at school. By my mum, definitely not. You know, she learned from her mum, who'd self-taught. And we're taught when we're children to have cereal and toast for breakfast. And then we're taught to have our sandwiches, our yogurt, our crisps and our chocolate for lunch. And we still do it as adults. That is the meal deal in the supermarkets you go to. And then our dinners, you know, it's all meat and potatoes. Okay, what are we going to have with them? Do we have gravy or do we go for beans? Something moist.
It's like it's like the traditional.
It is. And when I sit down and have a chat with everybody. Do you have breakfast? No, don't have time. What do you drink? Oh, tea and coffee. And it is such a trend. Local people, and I imagine further afield. I mean, I mostly deal with local, but I've had clients in America, further up the line, Sheffield. We're in 96 different countries, and so it's nice to be able to speak to as many people as possible. You sort of have to not just think locally, think worldwide. But
is that people that have found you directly or people that have come through
social media? No, social media. They'll find me on social media and then we'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
I am not very good at cold marketing. I need to be, but I've never been a pushy person. I was in insurance for 16 years. I was terrible at it then. I'm still terrible now.
How would you do that these days? I mean, really, it's just social media ads. I mean, it's not like
sending out the messages and you're taught
spam emails.
Yeah, I can't do it. Cannot do it. And I think that's why I've been quite successful locally, because people see what I do. I've never sent a pester message. Hi, how are you doing? The fake, conversation starter. I hate it myself. And so, I've never done that. And I get a lot of compliments because of that. So I've watched your stuff. I've been watching you for about 6 months, and I wanted to message you, but then I couldn't. I didn't have the courage. And now I feel like I'm ready to do something, whether that be PT or nutrition. Usually when people are sat in front of me, I do a wellness evaluation, which is about 45 minutes to an hour. And if somebody, I can kind of tell who needs to go down the nutrition path and who needs to go down the PT path. It's quite clear usually, but I won't PT anybody without them listening to my lecture on what you have to eat. Because if they say, I want to lose weight here and here, so I think you need to give me ab training, and
it makes sense.
Yeah, they won't. I'll say, well, you're not going to get that. You have to eat healthy. This is just to enhance those looks and, make you feel good.
Is the Body Club going to come back? Alf, can we play that last video? What you? Oh, let's watch this a little bit. This is a good one. Yeah, it's really. Everyone looks smart, and it looks like you told them all to dress up.
Hannah's in this. Hannah and myself are in this.
And this is up at Elmsvale.
No, this is in Medway. So this is our team. This is the team that we all used to train with. Yeah, that guy there, he's my sponsor, Lee Spiller. He used to be captain of Dover Athletic.
Okay.
So he was a Dover guy. That guy's just from Maidstone, Geordie Robbins. There we are there.
So it's good turnout. And you had this kind of turnout at Elmsvale as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was amazing.
I never came along. Hello.
And Warmer Green in Deal as well. That was a very popular one.
How was the Dover ones? You only did the one though at Elmsvale, wasn't it?
Elmsvale, yeah. Well, we did it on Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings. And it was very popular. The Wednesday evenings, I think 45 was our biggest number one evening. Oh. For some reason, men did not come to that one. We tried. We had the odd husband come along, but it was just overrun with women. Whereas Deal, it was so 50-50. And I could never work out quite why we couldn't crack the male clientele in Dover, but some people said because it was free, people just assumed it would be that good. But yeah, in Deal, it seemed to be really, really popular with guys. So don't know why we never got that one.
Yeah, I don't know how you cracked that barrier with that one.
No, because as you can see, our Maidstone one was absolutely amazing. It's very 50-50.
Looking through some of your posts, though, I saw there was the ratio of men to women that was in favour of the women, and you was very girl power. And is that by design or?
I still am. It's just obviously women are more relatable to myself, and more so have a soft spot for other mums, single mums especially. Single mum myself, so I know how difficult it can be, and I just see time and time again women neglecting themselves and putting their children first and trying to do everything, be the provider and the mother and just forgetting how to look after them, losing their identity. And I know that happens with fathers as well. But it's more, it does tend to be.
Hey, you can't help everyone.
You
can't help everyone.
I can't. But yeah, I PT some guys who are absolutely brilliant. And we have a really good laugh. And I do definitely put them through their paces. And I also have nutrition clients who are male. And, there are some that we click with. Others, they want to speak to a guy. They want to know how to get big muscles. And they don't want to listen to a little woman. And it's just the way it is, but I have no issues with that at all. It's whoever you gel with, really.
Yeah. Do you find with guys, I would imagine this maybe is more so, that it is about, I just want great big muscles, and there's not a lot of flexibility movement exercises as well?
In all honesty, I think men are just as sensitive as women. But sadly, as we see all the time with all of these posts, they just don't like to talk about it. And whereas a woman will sit in front and say, I hate this part of my body and I want to do this and I'm not very good at that, getting a guy to admit those things, sadly, it just doesn't happen as often, where somebody can be open about their insecurities. And with that, I don't know, they're constantly battling with themselves. And I think they should be able to, say what parts of their body they don't like and be allowed to be sensitive.
It's interesting that you say that men don't talk about it, but I would say that in some gyms you'll still find men openly in the gym, in the mirror, still
absolutely.
So still assessing themselves in the public eye,
yeah.
But still not willing to talk about it.
That's it. They will laugh it off, amongst other men.
It's interesting.
But yeah, I think they need to be more open, and yeah, I'd be happy to help any guy that wants any help with, body issues.
Yeah.
They got to one point where people were coming to me, and it can be really quite an emotional talk when people are talking about things that they're really quite insecure about their bodies. Men and women don't want to take their tops off at the gym, not at the gym, sorry, at the beach with their children. They don't want to go swimming. They're avoiding certain things because they're so body conscious, it's actually controlling their day-to-day lives. And I actually did a counselling course online, not for any other reason, or I don't want to become a counsellor, but I just thought, if people are opening up to me, crying in front of me because of these things, I at least owe them a duty to be able to sit a certain way, be able to answer them, try not to give advice, because it's so easy to then go, well, when this happened to me, I did this. And it's, you're not supposed to do that. You're just supposed to let people find their own solution. And so, yeah, that's another bit about me I did, just because, say, sometimes it can be quite overwhelming for them. So I thought I owed them that at least.
Everybody's different, and Hannah is the same actually. I think so. Well, you both she's not a single parent, but she's definitely got a handful.
Yeah.
But you seem to have this drive and this energy still to just keep doing what you're doing, even just and some people find it hard to muster up that energy, I think, and maybe that could just be down to also diet as well as lifestyle. But I think we need to
Don't know.
encourage. So one of the reasons about, because I wanted to talk about your new U lounge that you set up as well, is that I feel that, and also with the body squad, that a lot of people don't know things such as, and how easy was it? You can tell me that you can do activities in places like Elmswell Park because you had to get certain permissions, didn't you? And was there controversy towards the end of not being able to practice there anymore?
We didn't have to get permission because it was free. It was all volunteer. There was no money exchanged or anything at the Free Fit Club. It was literally just trying to get people out and encourage them to be outdoors, have fun and get fit, just like a group of guys that would go and play football at the park. And so we didn't have any permission, but then people were suggesting that we should be paying to use the field. But then we weren't ever collecting. I think Hannah actually was the one that said to me, maybe we should look to get a grant, some support so that we can actually do this, and we can buy some more equipment, because I was buying all the equipment myself, all the fuel. My boot was absolutely full of slam balls, kettlebells, ropes. My little Corsa used to drive something with a slant, but it was so heavy. And it was all, like I say, I couldn't stop doing it. I absolutely loved it. Whether it was snowing, raining, Hannah would actually call and say, have you seen the weather? I don't think we should do this. I can't not turn up, because even if one new person turns up and I haven't shown up, I can't be that person that's let them down. And always there would be people that showed up. So I'd be there in the rain, drenched, my whistle and my little speaker, freezing cold, dancing around trying to keep warm. And
that's good.
Well, I loved it. I love it. And I still love it now. I'd probably set it up again, but it's just childcare and working it around everything else at the minute, which is why I left as you know, I was in the fire service. That it just trying to do everything. I try and set myself too many things. Yeah.
Do you feel that it would have been better if there was an easier support group, maybe from the council or something like that? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that want to do good stuff, but that you find yourself on your own, maybe, or maybe another person can help you, but everyone's got their lives to get on with, and it can be quite challenging to do everything by yourself.
Definitely.
And rather than competition, which I don't think there's much competition in Dover between people, but there could definitely be potential for some sort of joined up approach around sports and fitness in all our green spaces around the area, especially throughout the summertime.
Absolutely.
And it just needs to be, rather than sort of observing that you're doing it and suggesting you've got to pay money, it should be like, how can we make this happen a lot more often?
Yeah.
Kind of attitude.
I did go online to have a look at but then it was asking for specific numbers and how much money we would need, and I couldn't give a definite answer. So I didn't want to be dishonest, and I was worried that then I'd get it wrong, and I came out of it. I think I filled out most of the form and then pulled out, and I said, oh no, it's okay, I'll just fund it myself. And so, yeah, it would definitely be, if there was somebody that could say, actually, do you know what, if you did this and you could get a little bit of help with this, and if you're helping people with obesity and mental health and nutrition, just trying to guide people for a good cause, then we can help fund that. And that, if there was somebody to help with that, that would be amazing.
Can we let's watch this other little video now of this is you sent me from New U Lounge.
Yes.
Sorry, Alf, it sounds like there's running water going on out there. All right then. Oh yeah, it does sound like a boiler warming up. Yeah, so this was on London Road, wasn't it?
Yes, that's it.
And from your post, I was sort of seeing you pretty much did this all by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Obviously I got a plasterer and a builder to do the final bits, but all the tearing down I had to do on my own because we were on a budget. But yeah, it was really nice.
So where did you get the concept? What made you think, do you know what, I need a premises, I need to have this in Dover, people are going to come along, and whatever it was, breakfast clubs you was doing, nutritional advice, so workout plans as well, was it? I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head.
So Within Herbalife Nutrition, breakfast clubs are absolutely huge all over, massively in America, Europe, UK were a little bit slower to catch on. We started doing breakfast clubs.
Give us a little rundown of what, because I don't know what that really was. I kind of, in my head, think I know what you were going to say, but what was the intention of the New You Lounge Breakfast Club?
So what happens is, it is so that I can keep my own clients accountable. So if you were my client, just as an example, you come in, you'd have a wellness evaluation. We talk about what you wanted to achieve, and you go on our whiteboard or our achievement board, as we call it.
Okay.
And you come in, you keep yourself accountable, and you come in for 10 visits. For the first ones, it's every day or every weekday that you come in. And when you come in, you would get your own little folder. You'd weigh yourself, and your weight would be going on the board every day. So not your actual weight, but what you'd achieved. And the reason we do this is not because we want people to obsess over their weight, but so they can physically see how your weight fluctuates every single day, depending on what you've eaten, how much you've drunk, and also seeing that other people will fluctuate as well. So you're not, abnormal if you've put on a little bit of weight because you had extra water the day before. So it's actually to try and ditch that obsession with the scales. So it's kind of a reverse psychology thing. Once you weigh yourself, you make yourself a nice hot thermo tea. So it's a thermogenic tea that changes your core temperature and boosts your metabolism, because your metabolism's having to work harder to get your body temperature back to where it should be. So it's a little metabolism booster, quite high in caffeine, so it's your little morning buzz. And we kind of sit down and have a chinwag about your food diary. So what you've eaten over the last 24 hours, how you're feeling, whether you've got any sides of detox, so headaches, cramping, bloating belly, and, kind of tweak food diaries if they're not quite on plan where they should be, where they've been guided to be, depending on what their target is. So if they are on weight gain, weight loss, muscle building, anti-aging, whatever it is. And then they have their breakfast protein smoothie. So they have a protein smoothie to go. And most people come in very early, before the school run, before work. And it's almost like when you go to the gym, you're setting the tone for the day. They started the day a certain way, and they don't want to ruin how they've started it. So they'll then have their morning snacks, their healthy lunch, protein snacks, healthy dinner, maybe go to the gym, maybe do 10,000 steps. And then they'll come in the next day. And we do exactly the same process. So they're having a healthy breakfast, they're seeing me, they're getting the accountability. Then after the 10 visits, we do a full body composition stat. So we do it at the beginning, and then we do it at the end. And so we'll look at your body muscles, your visceral fats, your body fat percentage, your water intake, your metabolic age. And I also do all the centimeters. And in 2 weeks of being healthy and strict, you'll be surprised how much of a difference you can make. So, well done, Sandra. You've lost 20 centimeters in 2 weeks, but you've gained weight. How can that be? Because you gained muscle, you've gained water, but you've lost 5% body fat. And so it's understanding that one number on the scales doesn't define you. It's your body composition and changing your actual shape. And it's, how are you feeling? Oh, you're bouncing out of bed. Oh, your headaches have gone. Your IBS has settled. You want to go to the gym now because your body started to change. And it's the mental attitude and changes that are happening, as well as, the body changes. And I always say that actually the body shape is just the last benefit. It's the bonus. How you're feeling, your immune system, your anxiety levels, how you sleep, they're all the things that you should be focusing on, enjoying the journey and forgetting about that end result that you've set yourself. And then that will just naturally come. It's something organic, but you've got to sort of look after the inside before you'll see everything else changing.
Is it going to come back, the New You Lounge?
Breakfast Club. As you've probably seen, Dover is a very difficult town to have a business in.
I wanted to ask why it stopped.
Because sadly, the people, I don't know, Dover just is so difficult. nutrition products are expensive. I can't deny it. I find it quite expensive myself. To me, that's a priority. And I'm not a girl that gets her hair and nails done. I rarely go out. I don't smink, don't drink, don't smoke, can't speak. And to me, that's my thing. And when I'm in a good place, I tell myself my children benefit from that as well. When I'm feeling good, they see that. I'm their role model. They're two girls. I want them to see me being happy about my body, confident, looking after myself. But it's just so hard to get other people to see that their health and well-being should be a priority. And so, getting them to invest money in nutrition products and themselves is just difficult. And so money-wise, paying for all the overheads, stock, the premises, it just was only about breaking even. And so I need a better place, because I was kind of on the outskirts both times. I need to be in the town centre, but then you've got, the business rates and the rent costs, and you need to have a huge client base to be able to just cover that. I'll need to have at least sort of 50 clients regularly every single day to be able to afford that.
We need some more sort of multi-use spaces in these bigger spaces to break it down, I think.
Definitely.
Because I think what my thoughts on it is that the money is here in Dover, maybe not necessarily in the town, but there is areas around Dover that but people do have a little bit of cash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a little bit out. But there's always been people like yourself that I think are trying to do things, and there isn't really any efficient way to let people know that this stuff is kind of happening as well. So you have existed, but how many people out there just didn't know, but would have used the service? And I feel we need to, so this is something that we're trying to work on with what we're doing. But we do need to figure out a way to get that information out there. Plus, and I've said this is why high streets are dying in a way. Everybody's at work. Not everybody, but most people at work 9 to 5, they have disposable income. Well, sometimes you're 8 till 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while, but it'd be nice to see changes where we work a little bit less, so we have time to put the money from our pockets back into our local economies as well and use services. I don't know if you know what I do for a living at the moment.
Are you with the council?
No, I was there for a temporary contract.
Okay.
As a community development officer, which I really enjoyed. I think I was probably the first person in many years to actually be proud to work for the council. But then my enthusiasm was destroyed.
Okay.
But at the moment I drive coaches.
Okay.
Yeah. Stumbled across a jobs fair where they were giving away free licenses. So I thought that would be good for a laugh. And surprisingly enough, it has been. Driving around to multiple places and going abroad it gives me insights to different areas, what's going on. And just going abroad, there is a lot more sort of healthier, active looking people. Even like we went to the Netherlands. Yeah, it's raining there a lot, but you still see people out. I know it's flatter and Dover's not the great, but they're out on their bike, they're cycling to the hockey match, whatever. They're socialising a lot more. Same in other places, over on the continent as well. And it's only over here that we are stretched with our bills and our housing and our work and all this kind of thing. And everyone's stressed out and they're tired. They just want to Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
I always find it bizarre that we've got all of these, hairdressers and barbers. Everyone's, obviously spending money on looking nice, but no one's got the time to go out and look nice.
No. No, definitely not.
So it's a bit of a weird conundrum. So I think services like yours are definitely needed. I often wondered if there was not enough PT instructors and not enough gyms available to people. I don't know. Is Full of Life Gym is where you're at now? Is that
Full of Life?
Is that like a full? Is it hard to get in there sometimes? Or?
No, it's so different. It's not a commercial gym. It's very bespoke. When you go in there, it's quite lovely. It's very small. Most of the people in there are having one-to-ones, and the members tend to come in either very early or very late. It's a 24/7 gym.
Just for the record, that's Matt's gym, is it Matt?
No, Darren Fuller.
Darren Fuller, sorry.
Darren Fuller,
Darren Fuller's gym. It's not your gym.
Not my
want it
gym.
to sound like I was saying it was
No,
your gym.
not my gym. We were actually in the fire service together with Wayne, who was obviously on the previous podcast. And so all three of us are friends and from the fire service. And I initially started running the Breakfast Club after London Road at Wayne's gym because he had a spare room. And then that was obviously moving, going to Burgoyne Heights. And with Darren, he's like, I'm looking for a PT. Do you fancy coming to do some one-to-one? And yeah, he'd seen previously, my client care, what that was like. And so that's where I started there. But yeah, it's a lovely gym. It's not busy at all. It's not saturated. There's all ages and abilities, and it's a lovely, lovely feeling in there. And he's a DJ as well, so the music's always pretty good.
That's good. I did speak to Darren about joining, but there wasn't classes on at the time. So, but you're
there's no classes still. Yeah. There's only one shuffle class.
PT instructor, isn't that not technically a class?
No, I'll do 2-to-1, 1-to-1s, but yeah, 3 and above now. Yes, class is a class. So
I see what you mean. It's what defines a class. A one-to-one is not a class.
We're open to everybody. We don't want to be sort of taking over all of the equipment when you've got people paying a membership and wanted to come and use the gym as well. So yeah, it's quite nice. I love it there actually.
So you would like to bring back the New You Lounge?
I'd love to. That is always going to be my main focus. Yeah.
Okay. Have you got any other community projects lined up for the future that you'd like to see? Any involvement with other events? Anything coming up?
With other events. So, we've got in Betshanger, we've got Boonies Boot Camp, which is an obstacle course, which is great. I've actually used that quite a few times when we've done sort of team building facilities, team building, events, I guess. When we do a challenge, whenever we put on like a 21-day challenge with nutrition and weight loss and fitness, we'll kind of do a team bonding thing and go over there. To have something like that in Dover would be amazing. I know we're probably way off that, but if we could get something here, that would be great. I would love to do a body squad summer holidays involving the children as well, because that tends to be, you've got the kids, so the gym has to, for me anyway, I don't get time to train in the summer holidays. When my girls are off, it's all about them. If they want to go to the beach or the park, that's it. I'm kind of told what we're doing. Yeah. So to get some health and fitness involved with them as well, I don't think enough children do sport, PE. There's so many around. I see it's one of my friends, Liam Friend, does Sport Frenzy. There's Dynamic Sports. I think M&M as well, or Sammy Moore's. They do loads of stuff during the summer holidays for day clubs, but with your parents as well. I think that would be something a little bit different where they come to a boot camp and get involved. And
yeah, have you seen the calisthenics area in Folkestone on Radnor Park?
Radnor Park, it's really good, isn't it?
Brilliant. And then we ended up with this small gym on the seafront, which hasn't been done very well, and we could do so much better.
Absolutely.
With those kind of areas and put them around a little bit more.
I think that would be really popular as well because, calisthenics is brilliant. I couldn't recommend. I was having a conversation with somebody today actually about all of that, the core strength and lift weights. Your body really wasn't designed to take, 100 plus kilos on your knees.
No.
You could do body weight
This is why I personally prefer body weight movement exercises in the past. I haven't been exercising very much in the past couple of years. I've been lazy. I need to get back into it.
You need to come and see me then.
Yeah, well, it could be a good experiment. I'm very fortunate, just to blow my own trumpet, I suppose. I'm one of these people that give me a couple of weeks in the gym and I'd be back to so I just abuse my body whenever I want and then go and train for a bit and I'm back to normal again. But it is quite fortunate. Now I've talked about that, it's made me forget what I was actually going to say.
The calisthenics
gym. Inter-sport kind of relationships in the district would be great. I think like we've got some great areas, the Duke of York School, there's lots of space up there, and there's other areas like an Olympics, but on a local level where we compete against the different close districts. We've got districts, got Thanet, just there, and Folkestone there, and Canterbury's its own district, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Which would just be kind of cool as well to bring all of those things together. And I don't feel like there's in Kent County Council, you've got these different people that represent different things in the countryside. It's like Kent Countryside Access Forum. Mm-hmm. So you've got someone who represents the horse riders, equestrians. You've got someone who represents 4x4 drivers, ramblers, bikers, and I can't remember who else is in there. But we don't have anything like that for, say, sports, health and fitness, as far as I'm aware, for the area. So it almost feels like there's a potential to build some sort of like sports committee if it doesn't already exist. Because there's a guy called Sport and Events UK. He's based in Canterbury, and he does the Four Castles Challenge. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's trail running along. It goes from far end of Deal past the Four Castles.
Yes, yes, I have.
Yeah, you get a nice medal. I don't know how many events he does a year, but he obviously does enough to have a surviving business. And I feel like we could have something like that even just for this area. I wanted to do a bike race last year, but I couldn't find the help to get it finished. And I wanted to try and do it for April this year, but I still can't find the help to do it. But again, I want to build this platform so we can be posting on there. Let's just say I want to do a bike race. I need some volunteers, and people are like, oh, what should I do? There's a volunteer opportunity to get involved with this. Same as maybe like a sports thing as well. Like, we want to create this kind of committee for more sports being pushed in the area, Yeah. Even the skateboarders, they're still, I think, over 10 years down the line looking for new facilities. And that's still a sport and health and fitness and mental well-being and things like that as well. So I think there's progression there if you know a few contacts that could might be interested in, because there's funding available, there's the potential to go. Or if you've got any spare time to try and take
there's
that on
definitely some
yourself.
Potentials, that want to push more sport in the area. It's people forget how much fun it is as well. Like we had a family party. There are family parties with us. There's alcohol involved in any parties, as most families are. There's arguments, a fallout. We had a family party at Connaught Park, where we wanted to play a massive game of rounders. And our family are very big. There's about 90 of us, I think, there, 95, and we weren't all there. And we played, and my aunties and uncles were getting involved, and the little kids were getting involved, and we played rounders, girls versus boys, for hours. And it was probably the best day we've had in a long, long time as a family. And we still talk about it now. And it was just a game of rounders, simple as that. And I did the same thing. When I ended the body squad, one of the last things I did was take rounders back. It's like, right, let's just forget all the fitness stuff. We're just going to play rounders like kids. Yeah. And everybody absolutely loved it. So just to have, something like that where you can get to play a bit of sport that you'd forgotten. There's so many netball teams going on now, and I'd love to go, but it's always just finding another spare evening. But I encourage anything like that. And, the girls that I played netball with as a child, some of them are still playing now and still absolutely love it. And you just forget the love you had in hockey and, tennis. And we forget that they're available, I think they've gone now at Russell Gardens, but still they're at Connaught Park, and you never really see many people using them and taking some tennis rackets up there and getting involved.
It's true. Do you remember the movie The Mighty Ducks?
Yes, I loved it.
So when that was out and all the rage, me and a bunch of friends, we all got we were rollerblading at the time, and real ice hockey sticks and a puck that went on the concrete had balls in it. So we were playing street hockey.
I love that.
And we was doing that for about, I don't know, a year, maybe 2 years. But it never seemed to catch on anywhere else. And we kind of dropped it. And it's just things like that, just remembering that there's plenty of car parks about. You can get out and just make use of a space like a car park as well.
Definitely.
I've got a few more questions I want to ask you.
Go on.
What time are we on?
Okay.
Are we? You're not in a rush?
No.
So are you in a rush, Alf? All right then. how much is Herbalife a part of yours? So you've got the badge on there.
Yes.
What's the other 2 badges?
They're Herbalife, so they're my achievement pins.
Okay.
So within it is a network. And when I started, I posted my own results, and a couple of girls I went to school with asked if they could also try Herbalife products. I got it completely wrong. It was never really a business plan at all. I was still an insurance broker at the time, and got it all wrong online. Probably underpaid them and ended up paying more for the products myself, and I was out of pocket, and it didn't come naturally to me. And then, there's a lot of education in it. They do support you. You can go online and learn lots of stuff with how to promote the nutrition products and look after people as well, because anybody can sell a product. Sadly, there's a lot of cowboys that will just get involved in these things just to make money. They'll just, take the vulnerability of somebody, sell them products, and that's all they're looking for. I've never been about that. I've always been about getting the client a product result. And if they don't, I'm just as disappointed as them. I'm really nervous every time I get a new client, even 5 years on, because I want them. If I see how much they want it, I want it for them. And that it just snowballed, actually. And when I said I wanted to do a fit club, I was umming and ahhing, and my friend Sasha, she was a client at the time, she was like, let's do it. And because I'd said I would do it, I couldn't let her down. I'm very much I don't let people down. So when I'd said, and she was like, well, we've got to do it then. We started one, there was 4 of us. I've still got the photo now. And I was really nervous. I didn't sleep the night before. And then I tried to explain to Hannah. She was like, no, not interested. And then when we bought the actual fit clubs, because she had a love for fitness, she came along to the fit club. Rachel had invited her, my other friend, and she was like, right, yeah, sign me up. I love this. I love the idea. And we all got our clients, and it just, because it's a network, you kind of build your own little cluster of people. And we were flying. By the end of the year, I tripled the earnings that I got as an insurance broker. Wow. And yeah, because of this network, all of us were just absolutely buzzing all the time with our fit groups and everything else. And we were going to Herbalife events, so usually in Birmingham, getting all dressed up. We'd have a couple of days of training, have a really amazing party, be on the red carpet with recognition. They make you feel like a celebrity. So the lifestyle was just absolutely amazing. I still love it now. But also at the same time, you're helping people get results. So more so when I had the nutrition club in New U Lounge, right in front of me, results every time, photographs, recognition, all the photos all the time of all these different people. And so I got to do that and then go and, get the recognition for it at parties. And so, yeah, Herbalife is, that's where my heart is. I absolutely love it. And it's one of those things, it has gone a little quiet, completely my fault, where I've had a little bit of a relationship breakdown. I've had to start my own home again. The New U Lounge, I've sort of throwing everything into that. And then the fire service, I did that for 2 years. So that kind of got my heart as well. And now PTing, there's been so many things that I just have a set amount of clients now online that I deal with for Herbalife, but I need to get very much back into promoting. And because you'll see on my social media, it's all fitness at the minute. There's no real Herbalife mentioned or nutrition, but I'm very much still in it. I still love it. I still take it and use the products myself. But I need to be better at marketing that because I've gone a little bit quiet on that front.
I think because
so much to do.
I think there's a few bag eggs, as you mentioned. Herbalife sometimes was controversial, wasn't it? In some ways, but like you said, if you're a person that's giving people help and watching them, not pushing the products on, then you're obviously a better salesperson. Have you ever thought about making your own products? You ever looked into that?
No, I haven't.
So I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but recently, in the past half a year, I started looking into making a cosmetic product.
Yeah, I saw you mention that online.
And through my investigation through it, I realised that it's not actually that expensive. You find a factory. I did a lot of the footwork myself, so it didn't cost a lot in research and design, because I was using all natural or organic ingredients, and I did everything myself with the help of AI as well.
Okay.
And to go through this factory and get everything scientifically, safety certificates and all this kind of thing. I mean, it's not consumable, which yours would be, but from my understanding, it's not massively expensive to start making and designing your own product and selling it yourself.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, in that when Herbalife Nutrition was founded by Mark Hughes, it's 1980, so we are going back a while. But he actually started selling his own product from his car boot.
Okay.
And what drove him was his mum actually was using diet pills, and had a very bad allergic reaction, I believe, and passed away. And he was driven by, he wanted to find a way that women was his focus, could lose weight healthily. So understanding what the body needs nutritionally, and not using these diet pills that people were, using. And that was and he said he would make it $1 million company. And, I think it's 8 billion now. It's absolutely huge. I mean, we're 44 years on, aren't we? So 45 years on this year. So it's massive. So yeah, it can be done. I know that's a long time ago, but he started his own product, and he just saw, what the potential was in that industry, just helping people with health. And I think a lot, everybody now is fully focusing on protein. And that wasn't the case when I started. When I would tell people to get protein snacks, I'd have to list things. Whereas now you can go into any supermarket and they're kind of using it to exploit people a little, because when you actually look at the ingredients, there isn't much more protein in the things that they're charging you double for. So you have to be a little careful of that. Because it's branded high protein doesn't necessarily mean that it's better than the brand next to it. So that's my little top tip, to look out for that. But people are more mindful now. And I've noticed now a lot of the younger generation as well, because of this influence with protein everywhere. They're seeing a lot of social media, the Love Island contestants going into then health and fitness, promoting the gym wear, putting it on their social media. A lot of my younger cousins and friends are going to the gym and wanting to eat protein and eat healthy as well. So it is filtering down in a good way, but obviously you don't want it to take that negative turn in that people get so body conscious. So it is a thin line, isn't it?
Yeah, I always learn the body will only absorb as much as it needs. So
Absolutely.
if you are going to increase your protein intake, you've got to be doing the workout to match it as well. You can't just bulk on loads of protein.
No, and it's the fact that we're so deficient. When people will reel off what they're eating, they might have toast in the morning and then a ham sandwich for lunch, and then perhaps a little bit of salmon or chicken for dinner. They feel like that's a healthy meal, but actually when you look at that, they're about 30, 40 grams of protein. Their body needs, double that probably, for someone quite slight. So it's just understanding how much they need, not trying to sort of pack them full of protein, because it needs to be a balance of your macros, micros, your phytonutrients, fiber, water. Fiber is another one we're hugely deficient in as well. But people just don't know where to get that. You think fiber, you instantly think of, grains and fruit fiber, eating cereals, but then obviously they're topping up on the sugars. So,
well, a supermarket is wasted on me. If I go into a big supermarket, I just fruit and veg aisle, obviously, or the meat aisle, some tins and condiments, and I don't go in the snacks and all the other aisles and all the packaged stuff. I'd rather make what I can as best I can before I would then buy it. Maybe a pastry, if I'm making a pie, I'll buy that. But or egg noodles, if I'm making a stir fry, I'll buy that. But even when it comes to meats, I'd prefer to go to the butchers and the greengrocer as much as I can, which is obviously a lot better for you. But yeah, when people, I feel helped train my brain with this a little bit, is that when people feel like, oh, I need something sweet, I need something sugary, and then they reach for a chocolate bar, because the brain is kind of triggered or associates these sugars with the sweet and the chocolate. And it's the same with salts. People think, oh, I need that sodium, whatever, salt. But actually salts are minerals which can be found in a banana, for example, So it's thinking in your brain of what I mean by salts and sugars and trying to associate it with a different and better food source.
Yeah.
Have a chocolate bar every now and then, of course I do, but rarely. What time are we on, Alf? 1:05. I feel like I could talk about some of these subjects a little bit longer with you, but we're trying to keep it around about an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
For the beginning ones. Well, I'd like to get you back again in the future, because as I said to Wayne, you're the first ones. The stats for Wayne's was pretty good so far.
Yes, good.
But obviously with podcasts, and especially if they're an hour long, people are going to come back and forward over time and I need to go and watch that again or listen to that again. So it would be great to have you back and talk about some of these subjects a little bit more. But I would like to ask you 2 questions. One, is there anything that you would like to talk about or bring up that we haven't talked about?
Today or next time?
Today.
No, I think we've covered most things.
We've got quite a broad, I think. And the second one was fire service. What made you decide? Yeah, I want to go
to
and
join or
fight
to
fires?
leave.
To join.
The truth of it.
Was it a bad story as well? You left?
No, no. To join, my best friend has always wanted to be a firefighter. She has dreamt it since she was a little girl. And an opening came up for on-call firefighters. And she was applying, and she was talking about doing the bleep test and all these things she was having to do. And with another friend of ours who lives in Deal, and he was trying at the same time as well. And I loved the sound of it. And I thought, there's another reason to keep fit. I'm going to learn life skills. And I think that's quite important as well. The first aid as well, with PT and being a mum mostly. And I just thought, it would be amazing to be part of something else, something bigger. And so I actually applied without telling them, thinking, if I don't get in, it doesn't matter. If I do get in, maybe they'll think I'm copying. And so I went along, and my application went through really quickly. And I passed everything and got into the fire service as obviously a trainee, because it takes 2 years to be competent. And I loved it. So I was on call, I was, assisting, I was in the fire engine.
Nice.
Really cool. Loved the uniform.
I want to train just to drive the fire engine.
Oh, it was so good. And the buzz you get, when you're on blue lights and things. Obviously not so much when you're hearing what comes through, and you do get a little bit nervous then. But they were the best team. Dover, Kent Fire and Rescue, both whole time and on call, are just fantastic people. And so I loved it. And then I was committing 40 hours a week. So my pager was on for 40 hours a week, whilst also trying to be a PT, whilst also being a mum. And so I'd have to sort of find childcare for my children 2 nights a week. And also sometimes the pager would go off just before school pickup time. So even if it's 5-10 minutes before I'm supposed to turn the pager off, if it buzzed, I'd have to go. And so then find somebody else to pick the girls up. And so it was quite a commitment. But the hardest part for me was the courses. And this is the whole reason why I left, which is a real shame. When I started the fire service, my circumstances were that the girl's dad worked nights. And so he could have them during the day, do the school runs and sleep. And then his job changed and he worked days in London. And so when I then had to go to a course, if it's a breathing apparatus course, for example, or first aid, you have to go to Maidstone or Ramsgate. They're cool. And you have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you come home at 6. And I had no one to do the school run. So I kept delaying the courses. Oh no, I've got a little tickle. It's going to ruin it. Sorry.
Yeah,
thank you. I was becoming quite embarrassed of having to keep delaying the courses. And so I said to my manager, if I have to delay it again, I will walk, because I'm embarrassing myself now, having to keep putting things off and not showing the commitment I had when I joined. And so that's what I did. So I was only a few months off of being fully competent. I had a couple more courses to do, but such is life. So they have said the door is open for another year. They always welcome me back. They did sort of ask if there's anything else that they could do, but it's my circumstances and my kids come first. So yeah, a bit of a shame.
When they're a bit older though, you think?
Well, the nutrition club is that's my dream. And now my best friend is a fully competent whole-time firefighter at Canterbury. So she's just passed last month. So I'm super, super proud of her.
She's living the dream.
She's doing exactly what she wanted to do. She's been able to quit her other jobs, and she's a full-time firefighter. So she's done it. And we were able to do our bleak test together and everything. So there's been a little bit of journey together, and I have learnt so much as well. So yeah, I'm very grateful for all of that. Excellent at pumping water, by the way.
What? Quite literally with the
controlling the pump at the back. That was my skill. But yeah, you never know. I do miss it. I worked with Darren. Obviously, his pager went off yesterday, and I was like, oh, so jealous. And I think if somebody burnt their toast, so I didn't miss anything. But
oh no,
yeah, that when the pager goes off, and you're like, oh, I do get that sort of fear of missing out, FOMO kind of thing.
Well, I hope you still keep going with everything else that you're doing. There's definitely a need for the services that you're providing. You're not going to be the only PT instructor that comes in, by the way. Just
what?
I know.
What?
But it'd be great for everyone to join up in some way or another in the future as well.
Definitely. Yeah. But like I say, nutrition is my thing. I love PTing people, but I will always kind of try and swerve them towards the eating healthy, because I know that's what makes the difference. The healthy habits at home, day to day, is what gets you the results. So, yeah.
All right. I think we'll wrap that up.
Okay, thank you.
Has it been good for you?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
it's been great to get to know you.
Thank you. Hope I haven't waffled too much.
No, I think it's been great. And I think there's more that can be talked about. So it'd be great to have you, sometime down the line in the future.
Lovely. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, cheers.
All right. Cheers, Alf.